on that, but
there were some good things about it, but
I mean, Impact to me is making some leaps and bounds to start being recognized as the third best promotion in the States. I mean, and that's the best they're going to do.
I know some people are saying, some people, not all, and I think it stretches the truth out a little bit, but some people say it's better than AEW, which I think is not true. But I know there's some people in some groups that say
I think it could be if booking and management was better. That's their biggest issue.
It's not just that though, too. Tuesday nights is a hard night because you got Raw on Monday. People know Dynamite's coming on Wednesday. People that get wrestled out. I have a hard time catching Impact on Tuesdays, and I want to. But we're going to talk about all this and more coming up on this episode of The Paradigm Shift. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us once again on The Paradigm Shift. I am one of your hosts. I am Josh Haney. I am joined by three of the greatest guys in the world. I am joined first by the one, the only, William, if you will, HD Morgan.
If you will, baby, it's another night of the Paradigm Shift Wrestling Podcast, shifting the paradigm of professional wrestling. Let's get into it, fellas. Let's do this like no other. Hashtag building fun.
Hashtag building fun. That's right, sir. We're also joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the great man of the Moosin, Gene Emerson. How you doing today, sir?
Welcome, welcome. Remember, we're the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be in the professional wrestling podcast business today. Right here at the Paradigm Shift, baby.
And last, but certainly not least, the man that has been filling some big shoes, but he has done it very, very well. And we are glad to have Mr. Tommy TDC. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good, and you're welcome for this upgrade that I'm allowing y'all to have on the Paradigm
Shift. Well, boys, we are here for another night of the Paradigm Shift and another night of first we got to do our salute, right? We got to do
real men of genius.
Real men
That's right. The real man of genius.
Hurry up and get your ass back to work.
Yes.
Quit being lazy.
Cody Johnson, how you doing?
Win that election and bring your ass back to pinfall.
Tommy's getting tired.
We got a Facebook user. If you don't mind, please register.
Yep.
Click the link.
Yeah, click the link.
Then we can see your name. That would help.
We promise we won't say you anything, but I can't promise you won't send you a couple of moose in your way. So
Make syrup.
Exactly.
All right, boys. So to start the night off, like always, our favorite segment. So the next question, because our topic is a little vague, we're just discussing the two pay-per-views. So tonight's question, I want you to book me your fantasy match.
Wow.
Like your match, the match. If you could pick two guys, put them in a ring, any stipulation you wanted, who would it be?
Does it have to be singles? Can it be a tag?
No, it could be anybody you like.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start off because this is a hard one. You gotta think about it. I'm actually gonna go tag, Will. I want to see the Hardys of past versus the Bucks now. And I think a lot of people would say that match, when it comes to tag teams, it's probably one of the top fantasy matches. But I would also up that ante, make it a triple threat, and put FTR in that match. Because that would be a hell of a match. The FTR would bring some of the high flying, the spot down. And I think it would make a 5-star match.
Mine would be on the
Hello, Stump.
What up, Stump?
What's up, man? Mine would be a tag match as well. Harlem Heat versus the Dudley Boys.
Ooh.
Damn.
Ooh.
And if you got that in their prime, you know who wins? The fans.
Yeah, the fans.
Yeah.
Both those matches. Like, that's who wins in those matches.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy.
Oh man, this is hard.
See, I cut through a little break. No, I was trying to scroll over to the comments. Oh, we do, man. We do. We love you and we miss you.
Yep.
Apparently, Brandon, you are truly missed when he's got his finger on that damn trigger because he can't run it for shit. I'm gonna go with one probably people probably don't ever talk about much. Would probably be like WrestleMania, Rick Rude versus Eddie Guerrero in some kind of maybe a ladder match.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
Just because, and I don't want face Eddie, I want heel Eddie.
Yes.
Versus heel Rude.
Ooh.
So you basically got heel Rude versus heel Eddie, and they're going to do all kinds of dirty shit to each other. I mean, even though there would be no disqualifications in it, but still, they're still going to do all kinds of dirty shit to each other. I just think it would be interesting.
Just to play up the crowd.
Most deaf.
And that's a match you would never see back in the day because you never saw heel versus heel. Now you it's possible to see heel versus heel.
Yeah, I'll give you one more. How about just because I've seen him tonight, Pete Dunne versus Dean Malenko.
Yeah.
Dean in his prime. WCW Dean Malenko.
Yeah.
I got to pull
1,000 holds.
Some of these comments up because they're good. Legion of Doom versus Brothers of Destruction in their primes would have been a good match.
Yep.
Our own Brandon Randall.
He has to have it. He has to have his Dusty Rhodes in there somewhere.
You gotta say Dusty.
That's it.
And then Mr. Rambo.
I like this one.
Ooh,
I like
that's a good one. That is definitely a good one.
You know, you were saying, you said that one, Tommy, and it got me thinking Kyle O'Reilly versus Ken Shamrock Prime.
That would be good too.
Yeah.
Rambo also had this to say, Gene.
But he tries real hard. He gets a lot of participation awards, I promise you.
Now, for me, I would have to go with this one's going to be a good one. So it'll be War Games. That's another good one. So it'll be War Games. 3 teams. You would have the 4 Horsemen versus the Hart Foundation versus the Undisputed Era.
Which 2 horsemen? Arn and Telly?
We're talking Ole and Arn, Telly, and Rick. Yeah, the original.
Yeah.
We're talking original.
4. Okay.
Yeah. All
I mean,
4.
I might get scolded for something, but the real 4 Horsemen. Okay.
Yeah.
It had so many damn spinoffs.
There were so many
Yeah.
incarnations, but there was only one original.
Yeah.
We ain't talking Mongo McMichaels, okay?
No.
We're not talking Mongo. We don't want to watch this.
Pillman even part of the Horsemen at one point.
I thought when Barry Windham was with them, I thought that was a really good team too.
That was an okay one with Barry.
Pillman part of the Horsemen at one point.
Who?
Yeah, Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko were part of the Horsemen at one time.
Yeah.
And Brian Pillman. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well say at one time it was like the 5 Horsemen.
Yeah. But I'm talking original Horsemen. I'm talking Hart Foundation, and I'm talking
Nobody from Canada.
All right, boys. Well, that is another edition of
That's another edition of Josh going.
it's easy to try and make it seem there, Tommy.
I never have no issues. I'm just saying. But then again, you ain't a natural talent like I am. So.
Spoilers. Just to pop it in Will's face.
I put a different news one on here, Will, just so he wouldn't. He did that shit on purpose.
Yes, I did.
Because there's another news one on here. He didn't have to use that one. He said, "The hell with Will's feelings." And click the button.
Man, Tommy out the knife tonight. All right. So news in wrestling. Anybody got anything? Because I really haven't heard a whole lot. Unfortunately, I'm working so much, I haven't been able to stay as tapped in as I normally do.
Before Bound for Glory, Heath Slater had a knee injury or some type of injury. He was out. That's the reason why for Rhino being booked in the Call Your Shot Battle Royal. Another one was Phoenix had to give up his spot due to injury.
That was a big one.
And that's why we got Penta versus Kenny Omega tonight. So those are the only ones that I can really think of that come right off the top of my head.
The other thing is a bit of news that we'll dive into the pay-per-view, but James Storm made his return to Impact.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot of big news this week. Io Shirai retains women's NXT title. Which is no biggie because Orange Cassidy, even though it was a dirty win, but at Halloween Havoc.
Yeah. Let's all do the Chauncey Blackheart because that's about probably as best as you're gonna get. And
yeah. I did see this. That was gross.
Yeah, that was pretty
There's
brutal.
actually if you didn't know, they put up a GoFundMe for him, I guess. I saw that.
At least Sid Justice broke his off the top rope, not the middle rope, doing a spin around.
And Brandon Randall, this is a surprise to nobody.
Yeah, that.
I'm sure it was the one match I didn't get to see, but I'm sure it was a hell of a match. But it's a surprise to nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, I like him, but we see Omega in that heel badass version of Omega's coming.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great when he goes full cleaner against Paige at Full Gear. It's gonna be a sight to see, and I'm probably buying the pay-per-view just to see that.
And please go take the belt off Mox.
Yeah, I'm ready. I was all for Mox winning, and he's been a good champion, but it's time for him to drop.
Yep.
And,
It's like I said on the Underground Pod when me and Tommy did the recap show. Remember the match between Sonny Kiss and Kenny Omega, because the look, the way he did everything, that was the beginning of the coming of the cleaner.
Yeah.
So just remember that, folks. That you're getting exactly the Kenny Omega.
The cleaner is here.
That
He has not fully revealed himself yet.
That match was like 14 seconds, wasn't it?
Something like that.
His entrance was longer than the match.
Yeah.
So, question here.
That tells you that type of match. He had that look on. Do you ever see that kid with the meme where he's like, why am I here?
Yeah.
That's exactly what Omega had.
Hey.
Question here, though. Janela was supposed to be the original. Sonny Kiss was the replacement.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it was the same storyline, or they switched it up?
I think deep down it probably was the same storyline. It was going to be Kenny Omega dominate. This is his time to become the cleaner. We're getting exactly what we expect. So they're going to book him strong.
What all of us New Japan guys who've seen Kenny over there have been wanting, dying for. Like, I'm so ready. And as much, and no one probably saw it tonight, but the Bucks did an interview in which they announced that they will, if they don't win this match at Full Gear, they will never compete for the tag titles again. Not a big surprise, but the way they were talking, Tommy just doesn't care.
I hate garbage storylines like that because it's such bullshit.
It is.
I agree, but this is the point I was making. They're showing that same edge, and I'm seeing the original Elite, those three reforming together and just doing the same domination that they did in
Japan. Yeah, and it's about time because, like I said when I was talking with Tommy on the Underground, it's that time where they said for the first year they were not going to book themselves strong, and they didn't. They kept that promise. We got that. The year's over.
Yep. Now
it's time for them to ride the lightning, ride the high side, and to show people exactly what the product should have been. Like, I know we weren't going to get that product at the beginning, but this is their way of saying, hey, this is what we could have done, but we chose not to, so we could develop stars, we can make people, we got talent now.
It's going to pay off down the long road because, I mean, they've already got a TV deal till 2023, and they're going strong. Even through the pandemic, their ratings never dropped below 6. That's amazing.
And there is
now after now that like NXT's not as competitive, they're close to 8-9 almost every week.
Yeah,
I'm just not a fan of the books. I never really have been. They're all right, but when I see them come out,
we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about that.
But when I see them come out, I just see a fake Rock and Roll Express when I see them. That's just me. I'm just not crazy about them. They don't pop to me.
Clearly, Mr. Rambo's in the whiskey.
Yeah.
But Josh, I know you like the Bucks. They don't pop to me, man.
The reason I like the Bucks is they play back to the Hardys for me. That's the big thing. Oh, Mr. Justin Hicks in the chat. Dude, we need to get you on the show soon. Like,
the other hit, and I don't know how much there's real about this. I'm going to say it's a rumor. This is a rumor that I'm hearing that Renee Young and Tom Morello, buddy, who said, Mamma Mia. Supposedly, there's going to be a third show for AEW, and they are going to be hosting it, and it's going to highlight more of the younger, newer talent.
No way. That would be crazy.
That is a rumor. At this point, I'm going to take it as a rumor because you never know with the dirt sheets and what's ever going on. So I'm just throwing it out there, but that's a rumor that I'm hearing.
MJF, Jericho will be the next tag team champions, and Jim Cornette just got a shiver went all the way from the top of his head all the way down to the back of his legs when I said that.
And with that statement right there, we're going to take our first break. And moving on. So the next WWE pay-per-view is Survivor Series. It has been confirmed.
But yes, next pay-per-view is Survivor Series, their 30th anniversary for Undertaker. I hope that they just play moments for the Undertaker. I do not want to see Undertaker. Let's just say that. Let's just say that now. We just hope that it's just moments. I don't mind seeing 30 years of the Undertaker, but
I don't mind seeing him as long as he doesn't wrestle.
Yeah,
right. Like I said, I'm perfectly fine with if they want to do another one of those theatrical type matches. If they want to do something like that, I'm all right for it. But if you're going to do a theatrical type of match, why are we not? We already get the Undertaker versus Sting. If you're going to do the theatrical stuff, that would be awesome. Like we've said before, that's just too bad. It's the match that everybody's always wanted, and plus the characters of them would work out kick ass for that, man.
Yeah.
Kick
ass. I mean, now that you've introduced the theatrical match with Taker, we got to get that at some point. It's the only way it's going to happen now. They're both past their prime. They can't wrestle. Give us that match. They only got to do a few moves. Give us it.
It would work totally in their benefit. It would be a good way to cap. Really, if you want to put it, if you wanted to say hey, this WrestleMania we'll finally say final WrestleMania for the Undertaker. It'd be a perfect way to cap it off.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness!
Rambo's on it tonight, y'all.
Yeah, he is.
Rambo's on it tonight.
He gave you a little bit of that Cajun spice on that ass is what he's doing.
Yeah, he is.
So anyways, are we going to get to our main topic? Because I think that's all that we got for news.
Yeah. Real quick, guys, we want to say thank you for the likes and the love and the reactions up there. Please give us more. This helps us in the Facebook algorithm so much. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe. And
Like, share, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell if you're on YouTube, and all that lovely jazz. So the topics of the night are Bound for Glory and Hell in a Cell. Actually watched Hell in a Cell, and the start-off match was actually pretty good. The storyline that they're telling with Jay and Roman, I enjoyed it. I totally enjoyed it from start to finish.
I did too.
I mean, all I can think about now with this storyline is they're building the Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania. Like, it's just...
They could be. I mean, that could be where they're going with it.
I can't see The Rock coming back for that. I just can't.
I don't know. I mean...
It might happen to the family, but
also right now, as we all know, just throwing it out that the Rock's movie hasn't been permanently delayed. So of Black Lightning, not Black Lightning, but Black Adam. So it has been permanently delayed. So at this point, what the Rock's going to do from that time? He's perfectly able to be booked.
Yeah.
Well, he's still got a lot of XFL business. I'm pretty sure he's got.
Yeah, but he's also not like top. His ex-wife is the top of that. Yeah.
So you're talking about a guy that does still have that opportunity. Like, yes, he keeps himself well busy, but I think, and it's only would be one match. And if it's going to be booked that way, you're going to get it. Hell, we got the Wild Samoans show up and dub Roman the chief, the head of the table. You don't see that happening every day. So there's a long-term book here in this match and how it's going to roll out.
But if you get Roman, you already know who wins. You already know it.
Well, right now you have heel Roman versus babyface Rock.
Yeah, but you already know who wins it because Rock is not going to commit himself to any type of title run.
No, and I think at this point what they're going to do is what you're going to see is, I think the long-term book is that title, that Universal title, it's going to jump to somebody else. Right. Somebody else is going to take it, and then at Mania, it's just going to be for who is tribal leader, who is the head of the table, the head of the family.
It's one of those matches that, yes, you're going to go into it knowing who wins, but the winner isn't important. It's the story they're trying to tell.
Yeah,
I did hear a rumor, but I don't like getting my hopes up about it. But I did hear that CM Punk was interested at facing Roman at WrestleMania. So
that could be too, because you hear.
Look, the way he tapped UFC, MMA, the way he tapped, no.
Until I hear Cult of Personality hit and it's clobbering time, I don't believe it. Because that rumor has been rampant for years.
He tapped faster than old boy running from Nexus. That's how fast he
Moving on.
I think WWE puts that cloud out just to mess with people all the time. Like, put out the CM Punk rumor just to get their hopes up.
Yeah. So moving on, we had Jeff Hardy versus Elias. Elias wins due to disqualification. Jeff whacked Elias with the proverbial guitar in the back and then broke his other one, the second one. Elias claiming that Jeff hit him in a hit and run. There's still no suspect on who. Big whoop. This was just another, filler type. To me, it felt like a filler type match. That's all it was. Let's fill some time.
Rehash storyline too. Isn't that a rehash storyline from back in the day?
Yeah, that is actually. Yeah.
I swear to God, they put Elias in the worst story angles ever, man.
Absolute worst. I mean, his gimmick in the beginning was terrible, like the whole hobo musician thing. But like, they have not done the man any favors. None.
The thing is that if they would play that character right, it would actually be a kind of a cool, edgy character.
But not in PG. Not in PG.
No. Then we had Otis versus Miz with the Money in the Bank contract on the line. So we had the big interview before the match with Tucker and Otis, and Otis is all fired up. we're going to get them. They showed the
Tucker
Law
turn.
and Otis package as JBL gets bribed and made the match. And so as the match proceeds to go on, we get Morrison gets evicted out. And when that happens, Tucker's on that side and Otis gets pulled over. Tucker whacks him with the briefcase. Miz is now your new Money in the Bank champion.
They just hurt Josh's feelings right there. They hurt his feelings. Otis was his guy.
Let me tell you that. Now, this might be an unpopular opinion, and it might be from what I've seen from some of the people that's posted on message boards and stuff. I love the move.
Yeah.
I love the move. I mean, people are knocking it. To me, I think it's another situation where WWE booked herself in a corner, giving Otis that briefcase because
They did.
they kind of booked herself in a corner with it. He never should have had it to begin with.
Well,
The Miz,
they rode a popularity storm that died right after Mania.
people can say what they want to about the Miz, but the Miz took the IC title and made it relevant again.
That's right.
The Miz did that all by himself. Okay, now on the other hand, you had Tucker, they had just split up Heavy Machinery, and we damn know what was about to happen. Tucker was going to get sent to the other show and get shuffled to the back of the field, and we would never heard from him again. Maybe this helps Tucker, helps Otis, plus it probably helps the whole title picture because it puts the Miz back in it. So I like it, man. I like the move.
Okay.
I thought
It was over. You knew the minute Mandy was out of it, you knew it was over for Otis.
Yeah.
You knew it.
Let me. I do like Otis. I do like Tucker. I liked the Heavy Machinery you saw in NXT. I did not like what they were doing with him in WWE. I thought it was stupid. They
gimmicked them. They gimmicked them too
Yeah,
much.
they gimmicked them. They turned what was funny in NXT and cool and turned it into a gimmick, and it just lost all appeal.
No, he will not be. Let's hope not. Let's hope
I
not.
hope you go, man.
Well, from what I heard,
What?
I guess they put Tucker back on SmackDown so the feud between Otis and Tucker can evolve.
But hell,
But I do agree with you, Tommy. That's who I originally wanted to win this year was Miz. He needs another title run.
Yep.
The man is worked his ass off. And he was in the main title picture for just a little bit of time, but he is one of their absolute top best mid-carders.
and
Like,
people laugh at me.
they know. Oh, the IC title's losing prestige. It's not being recognized. Let's put it on Miz. He'll make it relevant.
And
They've
people,
done it 9 times.
and people laugh at me when I say this, but Miz is a Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
When you put his body of work versus some of those guys that's in there that they hadn't even had any type of title run, i.e. Coco Beware, who shouldn't be in there, he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh
yeah. So then we had the women's SmackDown women's title match between Bayley and Sasha in the Hell in a Cell, and it was a phenomenal match. And Sasha wins,
Yeah.
becoming I think she's the third person to beat Triple Crown.
Now let's see if we can hold on to it longer than a week.
Side note on this: do anybody here watch AEW Dark?
No.
So her boyfriend, her fiance, Aaron Solo, has been performing on that show. I worked with that motherfucker. Literally worked with him.
But hopefully she can hold it longer than a week this time. Hopefully she can hold it, for a minute.
No. This is her punishment. This is her punishment for taking her damn ball and crying and going home because they had to drop those tag titles. That is why she wins titles and now she loses them as soon as she wins them. That is her damn punishment.
But the thing I want her to do, her and Brooke are going through a feud right now. I think it's the funniest feud ever. And in order for that feud to gain steam, she has to be the champion. In order for that feud to gain steam, Brooke is talking shit. Sasha's talking shit. And it's like, I love it, man. I love it. So
I just really need a storyline for a while that revolves around that title that does not involve Bayley or Sasha Banks.
Yep.
I agree.
I agree with that.
I agree with Charlotte for the longest time. She was always in the title picture.
Look, it's 3 women until Becky comes back. They need to improve that.
Yeah.
I agree. Their women's division is terrible right now. I'm surprised that I seriously thought they had signed Tessa Blanchard. I am surprised that she has not debuted if she is signed.
Whose women's division is terrible?
WWE's?
What?
They don't have
terrible,
anything,
man.
bro.
You okay. I take it back. It was around 4 women. Charlotte when she comes back, Bailey, Sasha, and Asuka. It was always around 4 women right now. That's it. Who else?
WWE has lots of good women.
But they don't use them.
They're not used.
Well, that's probably because they're so busy giving Bailey, Sasha, and Charlotte.
I agree with you. That's why their women's division sucks.
That's why it's terrible because they're not giving anybody else's.
Okay, I'm going to end this. I'm going to end this argument right here with saying this: the WWE at least has a women's division that's relevant. Look at AEW; it's unrelevant at all.
True.
You could take half of the women that aren't being used. Even you could take Alana, put her over in AEW, and at least that would make that division relevant.
Can you see Dana Brooke in AEW right now?
I don't necessarily say all that.
Can
Dana Brooke in AEW is amazing.
Can you see Dana Brooke over in AEW right now? Dana Brooke would dominate that company.
I agree that their women's division is terrible. I agree that they need to step it up. I watching tonight. Because they actually Serena Deeb defended her NWA title tonight. They actually shouted out Billy Corgan on air. Jim Ross did. I think there's an NWA AEW alliance coming very soon.
Oh yeah, the statement. Can they do a story? Can they do a story with the 4 horsemen?
Oh yeah, they would, and then Cody would want to cut because his daddy used to wrestle some of the original 4 horsemen.
Oh yeah.
Cody would be like, "Where's my money?"
But then we got after the changing of the title, then we've got a segment in the back that led to Bobby Lashley taking on Slapjack for the United States title. This was just another fill match before another Hell in a Cell match.
WWE doing what they typically do. They got me finally excited. At first, when I first seen Retribution, I just shook my head. I was like, okay, here we go with this bullshit. Then they got me interested in it with them in the Hurt Business right there at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have just completely made it where it does not make a damn anymore.
It is a complete joke.
Pictures after the event of the Hurt Business, Bobby Lashley was out there with a velvet jacket on, looking ridiculous. Just looking ridiculous.
That was probably Montavious Becker going, it look good, play it, put it on.
Yeah.
Put it on, man. It look good. You Bobby Lashley. You know what I'm saying?
But
put it on. Put it on.
But the thing here about the Hurt Business and Retribution is got gimmicky and silly fast. The Hurt Business looks good. Don't get me wrong. They look like they're supposed to. They look like a bunch of businessmen that are, in that business. They're the Hurt Business. Business is good for them because they have United States title. But you look at Retribution, and they look like the worst custom creative players that you could ever have made with the worst custom created names back from the 80s. Slapjack, because the guy's wearing a mask that looks like a hockey mask. Really? You couldn't have come up with something better?
You're 2K19.
Oh, my God. It's so terrible. And to elaborate on what Rambo was saying right here about MVP needing to get Superstar of the Year for taking those 3 guys off the low card and getting the airtime.
Oh, yeah.
Not only that, man, it's amazing considering where MVP's career was right before WWE re-signed him because his career was like in a downward spiral. He was about to retire. He didn't want nothing else to do with the business. He was basically in high school gyms, putting on shows in front of like maybe 40, 50 people. So, he saved all their careers in a way because they wasn't doing shit with Cedric Alexander. They wasn't doing shit with Bobby Lashley. And they damn sure wasn't doing nothing with Shelton Benjamin.
I was so excited for his return, and it was nothing.
Yeah.
But this is the funny thing. We're seeing Shelton Benjamin and MVP that we sort of got in New Japan, when they were a tag team. This is their sort of their running gimmick. It was all the exact same. So this Hurt Business thing is sort of like a little bit of that mixed with a few other little things we've seen MVP and Bobby Lashley and these guys have been into before. So it works. It really does work.
But you gotta give some Benjamin props too, because he wasn't talking his first run of WWE. He really wasn't good on the mic or anything like that.
No.
He goes over to Japan. He does his thing, comes back, did a little bit of the indie stuff, comes back in WWE. And it's killing it, man. Shouts out to him.
Yeah, I just wished it was the same where it was, there ain't no stopping me now, and that music would hit and Sheldon Benjamin come out and shit, man. Dude used to be phenomenal, man.
Yeah, man.
Then we got into
the next match. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
No, there ain't no stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross.
Dude, I gotta tell you, Will, your reactions in that video are amazing. Like right on the beat.
Ooh,
shoot.
really?
Wow.
Well, out of all fairness, he's lucky that the way Vince thinks that Vince didn't put him in a terrorist angle. Just to be honest with you,
It really is.
Yeah, that's true. I will Ricochet.
So last match of Hell in a Cell was Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. It was a good match overall, but they dropped the title to Randy Orton, and now he's the 14-time WWE champion.
We all knew that was coming.
I also kind of shocked by that too.
I wasn't, because people has labeled Drew as being a boring champion. I don't think, to me, it's on Drew. I think this is just bad booking. They've been booking him bad. They've had him in this angle with Randy, and people's been tired of that angle for a while now. It shouldn't even happen to Hell in a Cell like that angle. They should have been past this angle by now and kept him fresh doing something, but they didn't.
I'll say this. I think at Night of Champions should have been the last time we've seen Drew versus Randy, and the person that should have been in the spot in the Hell in a Cell with Drew McIntyre should have been Keith Lee.
It's a clear example, just like this is how they did Kofi. They did Kofi the same way. Basically, they booked him as strong as they could. Like, look at Kofi. They booked Kofi as strong as they possibly could, really, when you look at the matches. You know, he got clean pins. He always went over. I mean, they booked him as strong as he could. It's just, I think, honestly, it's the fans, man. That's who I blame. I blame the fans, because the fans want something new, and then when they give it to them, they bitch and they're tired of it within 2 weeks. They're like, oh my God, well, okay, well, he's got the title. Well, what now? I'm bored of it. You know, they don't give nothing no time to build anymore. I think that's why I appreciate what Roman and them are doing, what Roman and Heyman are doing so much with the whole what they're doing over with the tribal stuff with them and Jay and them, because you can tell that that's a long story build.
That's right. The days of long-term booking, the fans got to realize that's the only way that you can build good champions. Once a title, for at least for titles, I'm not talking like you're talking, tag titles or mid-card title, but I'm talking like the champions. You want to have long-term story builds. At least get them to, you can make them face 30, 40 people within that time, but you've got to have a long-term build. There's got to be a main focus, your main end goal. We got this guy, we're going to get him all the way to this point or this big pay-per-view. When we do finally drop the title, you'll see it coming, but at the same time you don't, and you're good about that. Look what, like Tommy had said, look what they're doing with Roman Reigns. We know what the end goal is, but we don't really care about that. We're based on the story. We're dived right in. We're dialed into the story. We want that story to play out. We want to see what happens.
Drew was at a disadvantage from the get-go. I mean, he won at WrestleMania in front of no live crowd.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how bad that probably actually really sucked to know that you finally made it to that pinnacle moment and then you win the belt and there's no crowd?
And if you pull up that last comment by Rambo, that's a good point. They have no way to really gauge it because there's no live audience.
Right. They're just gauging, I guess, basically off ratings, which is crazy because Raw's ratings has always sucked.
Yeah, it's always been sorry. You doing it, but then now on Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. What would you guys give it an overall? I rate it maybe a B at best.
I'm with Gene.
I'll give it a B because it had its kind of filler dumb moments in it, but overall it was not that terrible. One of the disappointing parts in it, I think, was where you actually seen Randy go to the top of the cage and you think something cool is going to happen. Nothing cool happens. Basically they climb up it, then climb halfway down the other side. And Drew McIntyre being 6 foot by 9 by 45 or however tall his big ass is, that little fall he took was not that far of a fall, so it really wasn't a risky bump. I mean, that's the thing. That's what WWE lacks now so much is I understand that they've been in the PG era, but still even in the PG era, you had to keep TLCs and ladder matches or anything like that, Hell in a Cell, you have got to push the damn limit. You have got to go as far as you can go with those. Regular pay-per-views, like just a regular Survivor Series or something like that, you can keep some of that kind of basic. But these big extreme pay-per-views, you have got to do something that makes people, because that's what used to make me tune in. Was this TLC? Somebody's about to get the shit whooped out of them if it's a TLC match.
Someone's probably going off the top of the cage.
Yeah, they're going to do something. They're going to break out some barbed wire 2x4s or something. Something's going to happen. And they just don't do that kind of shit no more. And I think that's a lot of WWE's problem, that when it comes to the paper, even some of the storylines they build, as much as people bitch, sometimes are not that bad, but the payoffs always suck. That's what sucks about it. Is their little middle storylines they've always kind of been like that. Some of them were good and some of them were trash. But the payoffs were always good at the end of them, and the payoffs were not as good as they used to be.
No. So now, as we all know, Impact had their pay-per-view as well.
Damn.
I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say C-. But WWE it doesn't get me anymore. And Tommy, I agree with you too. It's to be the third week in a row I've said it. It's fucking stipulation pay-per-views. Yep. Building pay-per-views around a gimmick just doesn't work. That's not how they're meant to be used. They're meant to end feuds, be awesome. I want to see Brock Lesnar spearing someone through the side of the cage or some shit like that, or Undertaker throwing Foley off of it.
I think another thing too, because of COVID and trying to be safe with the athletes, it's taking the edge off creative. I think that's why this last pay-per-view was just humdrum, because
you get that, but you could still even in the PG era, okay, no blood, okay, that's fine, but you can still have somebody, when they had Randy and Drew up there, instead of getting Drew to walk his butt halfway down the cage and do a little bitty bump, have him go through the cage, break the top of the cage open. Yeah, that would be something. If there is any blood that does come out, you put your gloves on, you stay sanitary. It was the end of the match. It's the last match of the night.
Can we please, in the year 2020, can we please stop with the cheesy ass blood capsules in the mouth?
Yeah,
and the cheesy acting with the their whole down abdomen is about to fall out because they're in so much pain. I can't stand when they do that cheesy shit, man.
How do you do it, Tommy?
Well, Tommy, you bring up a point, because there was one thing that was pissing me off on Dynamite tonight. So they did that lumberjack match, and you knew that Orange and Cody were about to take a bump off the top, because all 15 guys crowded around. Not only that, but just as they started to fall, some of them put their hands up.
Yeah.
Oh, guys.
CM Punk was criticized for that same thing because CM Punk had said, "Can we stop with the guys going to jump and then we having the 5 guys at the bottom going to catch them because we know what's coming." And what makes it even more cheesy is that if the camera don't pan away from it, and if you're a live show, you end up seeing it every time. Is how they all get up and they put their arms and they lock them in place and they literally stand there. Well, he's not at his spot yet. So they kind of just stand there in like a small huddle, all 3 of them, and they're just kind of like throwing these little soft, like waiting on him, waiting on him to come out. And then he comes and he flips, and he'll either overflip them or he goes slap to the middle and no one caught his ass. And I laugh every time they do shit like that because I'm like, that shit is so stupid. Y'all have got to come up with something else.
Well, you'll see it like you have 3 guys out at the end. And you get one guy does a jump, and you can see when you'll see that guy that's supposed to be in the middle will lift up the other 2 and be like, "You guys are supposed to be right."
It goes also back to the slap in the leg when they kick. Come on.
I don't mind that so much because there's some. It depends who does it because there's some that can do it where you don't even see it sometimes.
Yes,
they're so good at that. But then you got some like. Okay, and I hate to knock her because she's one of my girls, but Baszler's one of those types.
Yes.
When she throws him in the corner and she goes to hit him in the face with the knee, clear as day, you can see her not barely touch him with the knee and see her hand way up here and slap her knee, and I just can't stand it, man. It kills it for me every time. I'm like,
you know why she's like that? Is because she's got to be careful she'll actually throw that knee.
I can throw that knee.
Yeah, because she's got MMA training, so it's like to her, it's like that's the only way that she knows. Okay, this is what I got to do, right?
And Drew's pretty bad too about it with the Glasscoff kiss. It looks really cheesy. If they don't get it at the right angle, you can clear as day see that he don't even come close to hitting the guy, and then he slaps the shit out of himself to make the sound. So I don't know. Like I said, some of them can do it, and some of them can't. As long as I don't see their hands constantly slapping, it just because it takes away from me, I don't mind it so much. But
then you go over. We got the Impact pay-per-view, Bound for Glory. And it started out with a 6-way X Division title match. I don't remember all the names, but I do have it down who was the winner. It was Raju, the same guy who came in as champion. I guess he did the funky. They did the whole, Tower of Doom, pull off the one guy that's supposed to win. Looks like he's going to go for the win, and comes in and keeps his title. So that's who won that one.
Probably the weakest match of the night, truly.
Yeah. Then they had the Battle Royal match. It was 30 men. The end, I think it was Rhino who started and won. And they
whoa. Impact has 30 people on their roster?
Something like that. I think it was like 15. Yeah, who knows?
Somebody was working double duty that night. I know they was.
The biggest topic that comes out of that Battle Royal was James Storm, the return of James Storm to Impact.
So
which he did not win, but
he's got a contract.
Yeah. So basically, Rhino wins, pins at the end. It turned into like a normal match. Rhino hits the door on Sami Callihan and pins him 1, 2, 3. So Rhino stays, and Heath now has a contract with Impact.
I don't know, man. The stuff they've been doing over there, the two of them, it's been funny. It's been good.
The big mention was that they did have a segment.
Stop talking so loud with your eyes, Tommy.
They had a segment where they were going to Rhino and Heath. They were talking, and they legitimately cut it so wrong. You can hear the producer was told, "Hey guys, you need to restart it again." In the middle of their pay-per-view.
That's right. I mean, nobody was watching anyway.
Low budget.
So then it goes into a theatrical match between EC3 and Moose. And the winner of that was Moose. Moose wins that. Then it went into
EC3 gets cut, leaves, tells everybody how he was this held down superstar, and he's a free agent. He's going to conquer the world. And he's on Impact, being a fucking mid-carder, just like he was on WWE.
The thing was, he was telling the story of, he was telling Moose that, you know, you got to take control of your own narrative. You got to beat me. It was like a Star Wars-ish type thing, like strike me down. And, yeah, you know, unleash your own narrative type thing. And so that's the reason why they gave it to Moose.
I think we're putting Tommy to sleep.
So the next match, they did a package. Yeah, User Theory is better than that. They did a little package about Ken Shamrock going into the Impact Hall of Fame. You've seen The Rock and a few others. And they got into the match between Eddie Edwards and Ken Shamrock.
Let me ask you, did he actually step foot, or did he do it by
via they had him on like it was a video package.
Impact pay-per-view.
Yeah, we know damn better. Vince is like, don't you do it, damn it.
It was a video package, and the entire time The Rock was there, he was talking about Tim Shamrock in the Attitude Era in WWE. That's exactly what he was talking about.
They said Shane walked around and said, Daddy, The Rock's going to induct Ken Shamrock into the Impact Hall of Fame. Where's it? Take me to the son of a bitch. Take me to him, damn it. Take me to I guarantee you that's exactly how that shit went. It's better not.
He already bought my company.
So we did it to the Eddie Edwards Ken Shamrock match. Actually, Sami Callihan from the prior match stayed over, and he was there. He did something with his cell phone, turned off the lights, came back in. Sami Callihan had the bat. Eddie Edwards had his trusty kendo stick. They did this whole thing, and then Ken Shamrock put Eddie Edwards into the ankle lock, and Ken Shamrock wins. Surprise, surprise.
Don't lie. He had to stick around out there because he had to help fold chairs up after the show. That was part of his. That was in the deal for him being on the pay-per-view that night. He got $30 a hot dog, and he had to help fold chairs. Don't lie.
You're cold, man. Why do you hate Impact so much?
So then we got into the Fatal 4-Way tag team match. And the funny thing in this one was that the one half of the Motor City Machine Guns got pile driving onto the ramp and was taken out completely, leaving. It wasn't Alec Shelley. No, yeah, it was left Kip Sabian all by himself. His partner doesn't even show up at the end or nothing. Completely left it. The North used diversion tactics. Got the using of the belt hit Anderson. And the North are your new tag team champions.
You know who should have won that?
Yes, that's right. The Good Brothers. The Good Brothers should have won that.
Hashtag talking shop. Hashtag worst podcast
ever. Then you had the women's title match. I guess Kylie Ray got injured, so they had to make a replacement. And for Denver,
I heard it was COVID.
Yeah, it was COVID. They said it was an injury. I think on Impact themselves or on the Bound for Glory pay-per-view, they just said that she couldn't show up. They didn't even.
I saw on Facebook they made a statement of somebody that she was missing.
Yeah.
So,
man, this is the same thing that happened the last time. This is what happened with AEW.
Yeah.
So Sue Young took her place, and Sue Young is now the new women's champion. She won, which makes no sense even in the whole entire storyline. It was like, oh yeah, we're just going to throw this new lady in there. Out, give her the title.
I think once. I'm happy for her. She's a cool chick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you expect? You know who I blame?
Actually, you can't. Honestly, Tommy, you can actually say that because the guy who was the former manager of Team Canada is their creative guy.
Anthem is a Canadian-based company.
I'm telling y'all, when stuff go wrong, just blame Gene. You'll be all right.
Blame Gene.
Yeah. So then we had the big title match, EY versus
Hang on,
Swan.
Dean. We're going to take our last break of the evening, and then we'll come back and finish up. We'll be right back. All right, Gene, take us into that final match.
Final match, EY versus Swan. And as we get it, Swan is now your new Impact champion, world champion.
I will say this I did not understand. Like,
Me and Tommy were talking about it earlier. This is going to be a transitional champion. I mean, I'm
but I don't know who is he transitioning for. I don't see who, other than maybe EC3, and maybe that's why that match ended up like it did.
It's either going to be EC3 or it's going to be Moose. That's
I think it's time to put the true. Okay, I gotta say this. It's time to put the true Impact title on Moose. He's taken a non-existent title and made it relevant. Like, and he has so matured in Impact. Like, I was watching him in the beginning. He was terrible. The only good thing about his beginning was the Moose.
I'm calling it right now. Loses it to Repo Man. Repo Man shows up, steals it, runs off. Or Double J. Double J's going to do some booking. He thinks back.
But no,
company books himself.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think you're either going to be either EC3 or Moose. That becomes your next Impact champion. That's who you got to go with, and until you create a feud. If they're bringing back Storm, let's use them in the right way. Transition the belt to Moose, and then you create a match between Storm and Moose and give it to Storm. I think he would be the perfect guy to carry it. He is an original. It would work.
Swan just doesn't seem to be he doesn't seem to be a long-term guy as a champion. He just doesn't seem that to me.
Not the main title champion. He could be
and Scott D'Amore and how he does creative and booking, you could tell that it's a transitional move. Right. The title got to EY. EY was just to hold it until they were to build somebody big like a Moose. They haven't got him there just yet, so let's put it on Swan. Give Rich Swan a little bit of play with the belt, and then we give it to Moose, because Scott D'Amore, let's face it, at least he gives some of the smaller guys a chance, even if it is just for a transition.
Well, Scott D'Amore has proven though too, he'll give you a shot. Like, he'll give you a shot. If the crowd catches on, he'll let Rich Swan hold it. If he'll probably give it a month, and if no one really catches, then they'll go ahead and move along with Moose.
Yeah.
If Rich Swan managed to do what he did with the Cruiserweight title in WWE, and he made that title relevant when it was crap.
He did.
If he could do that with their main title, he'll keep it for a few months.
Yeah.
Scott D'Amore is a reasonable man, unlike Vince.
Yeah. And Scott will create the triangle type feuds too, because you could get a Moose, a James Storm, Rich Swan, and piggyback that title. Like, you'll see a Rich Swan have it for maybe a couple months.
And Moose, dude,
that's what I'm saying. You can see those guys hold it for a couple months, piggyback it around for a little bit.
I mean, you can't ask for three guys to be three of your top guys. EC3, right. Rich Swan. Rich Swan is your high flyer. He's exciting to watch. EC3, when he's on and he's right, he can be an amazing talent.
I mean, he was doing fine in NXT. They just never should have moved him up. They should have left him in NXT.
Yeah.
All right. So what's our rating on this pay-per-view? Tommy, you don't count.
We're talking hell. Are we talking
We're
Impact?
bound for glory. The Impact pay-per-view.
You
What's your
don't
rating?
count, Tommy. Bias.
I'll see. I'm pretty sure that Beth Jean and them down there at the high school, when they watched it in that high school gymnasium where they shot it at, when I was giving out free corn dog night, I'm pretty sure they loved it. And gave it an A. I can't get into Impact these days. I like that they're doing something different. They do a few different things than other companies are doing, but I just don't ever see Impact being a major player again. So, I mean, if you're looking for something different, it's definitely the show to watch, but it's just not for me. Besides Jordan Grace, I could give a shit less what goes on in Impact. So that's an F.
if you couldn't get the free hot dogs and everything, I knew he was going towards that.
Yeah, I mean, hell, I didn't even get the free corn dogs and get to look at the two teeth in her head. You know what I mean? While the pay-per-view.
Oh my goodness.
I would have to say in a nutshell with Bound for Glory, I'm gonna give it your low end C. It wasn't all that, from what I heard, it wasn't all that bad, but it wasn't all that good as well. So a C, I give it a C and just leave it at that.
Will?
I give it an I for incomplete.
That's a good one.
Make Impact great again. Bring back Dixie Carter.
Oh, fuck
You know what? I'm down with that.
Yeah,
I'm down with that because at least when you had Dixie there, your storylines were better. And
Dixie was not involved in most of those storylines.
No. She was easy to persuade, though, because she'd be like, I got this idea. And Double J's like, but baby, Double J's got a different idea. We're going to put the title back on Double J.
And we'll make the money.
but at least with her, you know, you can have it was more entertaining, I think, with her than it is now.
Well, hell yeah, she had a big wallet to play with, so she could do a lot of things. I mean, they don't really have that wallet no more, so.
I mean, Anthem's a pretty big company. They also own. They're owned by the same company that owns the network they're on. So,
hey! When your lazy ass comes back to work, you can worry about how much time we ran over there, buddy. Until then, you're just a fan in the comments. Shut the hell up and enjoy the show.
Hello, Tommy.
And that was coming straight from the natural talent.
Real men of genius.
Real man of genius.
Damn it.
Oh. Go away.
Lo and behold.
Oh, he just jumped on here just to do that, too.
Lo and behold, come flying in at the end of the show. Been in the comments all along. You could have been on here the entire time. What was you doing out there kissing hands and shaking babies?
From that chair.
You know, I've recently acquired a lazy boy, and woo!
That was all with that political money he's been getting. That's where that's been going.
No, sir. No political money here.
All of John Offside Pat donations is on the Brandon.
But we do need to close this out. So it is that time. It is shameless plug time. Take it away, Tommy. Plug yourself.
Why you always got to throw it on me like that? There should be, one of those things up here. No, did you move it?
No, it's in the different file.
Oh, my God.
You didn't put it over here, too.
I mean, buy you books, send you to school. I can't do it all here,
You
George.
also have old clips on here. That's why I played your old intro.
Look, I can't help it by now if you don't know what the hell the damn intros look like by looking at them.
There it is.
On pinball because Tommy's lazy.
There you go.
All the times, all of them are right there. That's also that same little notification that you see there. That's also up on the Pinfall Network. You can check that out and get notified when and where we go live. So make sure that you like, share, subscribe, get on with us. If you're listening to us over at Anchor, please help us out over in the Building Fund. Make sure that you support us, because this gets better if we get help from you. If you hear us on Apple, make sure you give us the lovely 5-star rating. And as we always like to say, get Gallows and Anderson on. I've tweeted them, retweeted them every time. Every time I get a tweet from them, I'm retweeting them.
Hashtag talking shop.
Yeah.
Hashtag Gallows and Anderson.
So
hashtag paradigm shift. Come on,
That's
make
weird.
it happen. This needs to happen. Oh, real quick, little thing. So as you might see, there's only 4 of us here. So just a real quick note of business. Mr. Rob Weary has left Pinfall Productions and Paradigm Shift. We wish him his best on his future endeavors. Thank you. On that, please catch all our shows on Pinfall. Please catch follow on Facebook, YouTube, like Mr. Gene just said. And we'll see y'all again next week. Catch Tommy tomorrow night.
We're going to do SmackDown tomorrow, because we ain't had a SmackDown yet on the Total Nonstop podcast. So we're going to do
Tommy and Gene tomorrow night. Catch Tommy again Saturday morning. Catch Will Saturday night on the Geek.
Actually, you're going to catch me and Gene on Friday. We're not doing anything Saturday due to Halloween.
Special, right? Halloween special Friday night.
Special on Friday night, yes.
Yeah, exciting. Might have to pop in for that one.
Okay, cool.
I might just have to dress up.
Yeah.
But on that note, if y'all don't have anything else, thank you guys for joining us again. We love y'all. Y'all have a good night.